Peekaboo! Welcome back to Isyour6covered. My cameraman's rolling his eyes. I'm working on a shelter out of a tarp. Basically turning a tarp into a tent with a floor. So I've been coming up with some different designs. I think this one's going to work. Right now, I don't know how zoomed in you are or whatever, but you can basically see that I've cut the shelter. I'm just using packing tape just to make sure it works before I use a bunch of duct tape. So if this actually does work, we'll have to go back and reapply some good quality duct tape. But at 2 feet, basically the floor of this thing is 36 inches. Okay, so this part, when we get done with this tent out of this tarp, it's basically going to have a floor. It's going to have a cover where you can hide all your boots and stuff out of the rain and your gear. A 2-foot basically canopy or overhang. And this portion where I cut it 2 feet is going to come up and be a wall. Okay. So after I'm done, I'm going to undo this seam right here. This will fold in. Still working on some design stuff. But this will fold in like that. You get a better picture. And this will be the wall. What's nice about this style tarp tent, whatever you want to call it, Rick's Magic Shelter, is that you're gonna should be pretty easy once it's designed, and we're doing it at home right now before we get out into the trail. But we're gonna keep working on it, see how it works out. So thanks. Alright, we're back. We've been working on the shelter. After we made these cuts for the door, so this will be the door, we need to add grommets so that, you know, we can run a line or a stake. It'll keep the roof nice and tight. So basically we purchased one of these at Home Depot. It's a Grommet Kit. If you want to see it, all the pieces, we'll go over it and see how it's built. This is for a 3/8 grommet hole. Basically the same as what's on the tarp already. So let's do this. Parts of the kit are a little piece of wood. You got the cutter. This side here, you notice this side has more of a thin bladed sharp edge to it than that side. This is the striking end and that is the cutting end. So this is double thick wall along this part, so if we were to do it here, it wouldn't be as strong. So we're going to go right on the corner where it's already been double walled, and they've already seamed it together. So I'm going to use this just so I have a better striking surface, but I'll use the wood still so it doesn't dull up the cutting edge. Get probably an inch away. Make sure that I got the right end. Just tap it a little bit. Gonna need a little more. Put it back. You can feel it, it's gone through. So there's the end. Now we can cut it off or we don't have to. So basically we'll try it without it. I'll remove the wood thing. This is what you're gonna use to set the grommet on, like that. Okay, and then you're going to run the hole through it, or the tarp through it. You get the round end, there's a flat end, not so much flat, but there's a round surface end, and you'll be able to feel it. I don't know if you can see it or not. So you put the flat end up, this back before I lose it, and then this end here is the dowel that will go in here. And you keep striking it until you get it to the beveled part, and this will bevel out. So I'll put that there, give that a few whacks. It's a little loose still, so you can see the gap in there. So we'll continue on, just making sure we don't go too far. Still a little gap. Alright, so this looks good. So it basically rolls the collar over that other piece of the grommet. And now you have a nice grommet. There you go. Hey everyone, we've worked on the prototype. Basically got it all wrapped up. It's seems to be working pretty good. We'll get into more of it here in a second, but if you're looking for a tarp shelter but that has a floor, has plenty of room, but actually has walls on the ends to keep the heat in, this is what you're looking for. It's nice and low, so it captures the heat. It keeps it down by your body when you're sleeping. Is it a large tent that you can change in and that kind of stuff? Probably not. Not unless you want to lay down and change your clothes. But obviously, you know, I'm 5'8", so it's pretty short. It's about 2.5 feet tall. It's tied off on two ends with trees. It's got a rope that runs through the center of it to keep it upright. But let's go over here and I'll show you how the door works again. Now this is on the same side as the other side. That doesn't make sense. We did two doors. Basically what you'll see on this side is on the other side. So we took a 12-foot long tent. We cut 2 feet off of it. This will be covered to about here. So you can keep all your rain gear under here by the door on each side. If you want to keep your gear on one end and be able to get out the other end, or keep your boots dry, or whatever the case is. What's nice about this style is you don't have to worry about the water getting underneath and getting your stuff all wet. And it holds a lot of the hot air in a lot better than, say, just one that's, you know, basically is a rooftop. So there's different ways out there. This was kind of a prototype design to see if it's going to work well. But how we started was we basically made a big burrito out of it. It was a big circle. We taped it all, the seam where would be normally the ends. And then we cut those out to 2 feet. So to here, kind of marked it with the Sharpie. So that this, we added these grommets on each end, on 4 sides. So we're using screwdrivers today. But basically that would stake it down. So I'll go ahead and get in here. A little dirt. I'll go in this way just to see if I can spin around, see how much room's in here. So, one of my stakes fell out, I'll put that in. But here it is. Now I'm in it. It's a nice hot day today. Probably want to let the wind blow through and keep it cool, keep you cool, get a little breeze. As it, you know, becomes nightfall and gets a little colder, we got some options here. And this is what makes it different than any other style shelter out there, is it has walls. So besides having this tent or tarp, you have a couple carabiners. These are just cheap but non-load bearing, non-rescue type of carabiners. Any ones will work as long as they fit inside the grommet. Couple options here is you can keep this untaped all the way back to the 2 foot mark, and you can open up just one side or the other, or you can keep it taped up and basically close it up as a wall. So I'll do that again for you just in case you didn't see it or you want to see it again. This will attach to the string that's holding the roof on. So I'm basically just going to go up, click it in, fix my flaps, and now I have basically a barrier of rain, wind, any other elements, snow. Let me undo this. So you can keep all your boots out here, all your dirty stuff that you don't want the rain to get on, but you don't want inside with your sleeping bag and your tent and getting everything muddy if it's raining out or whatever the case may be. Something simple, something cheap, you can do this. Just all it is basically a tarp. Now you can make way bigger sizes where you could have 2 to 3 people across here, but you're just gonna have to go and get a larger tarp. This is something that was in our bug out bag. This is more of a 2-person. You know, if you have a couple of these, you can do a family of 4. but we wanted to make sure the prototype design was working right before we went and made any more. Now I would say if you are going to make one of these, use a good quality duct tape. This is just a packing tape. It seems to be holding up pretty good. I would say I would definitely use a better tape, a duct tape, but in a pinch the packing tape seems to be working pretty good. Down along here you'll have the grommet holes. I don't notice them. I've laid on them for a little bit, but you know, something to think about is when you put a piece of tape across here, you're more than likely not going to capture both holes. So make sure when you're taping the seam all the way down the long end of the tarp, you tape those up so you don't get any bugs or water or moisture coming in. And other than that, that's basically it. It's an easy, cheap way to stay out of the elements, but with the comfort of not laying on the ground. Way better to have some type of bottom, something that's low to keep the heat in if it's really cold out. But hey, if you can stay out of the moisture and laying on the wet surface, or having those little bugs crawl in that are buggy all night long, that's definitely the way to go. So thanks. Subscribe, like, give me a thumbs up if you think the video was okay. I appreciate it. I'm new to this, so I'm having a good time doing it. So if you're one of the subscribers out there, I appreciate all your help and support. Thanks. Bye.